Welcome to Street TV, everybody. My name is Alex Alonso. I'm here bringing you guys another episode of Tier Talk, and I got three guys on the line, all from Solano State Prison. Of course, we got Damien TC Doster from out of the Avalon Gardens here in Los Angeles. We also have Porky from out the Ujima Village, which was a few years ago was demolished. And then we also have Bryan, who is from the Bay Area. He was from an area that was known as West Pittsburgh, but it's now commonly referred to as Bay Point. What's up, gentlemen? How y'all doing?
Doing good, bro. Fanny, bro.
All right,
Hanging
so
in there, man.
hey,
Make the best out of it.
okay, let's start off how y'all just came together, how all y'all know each other, and you know, and how y'all just become associated with each other in Solano Prison.
I'll go first. This TC. I met Bryan, man. Me and Bryan was in the same building at one point over here in Solano and stuff, man. We was in 6th block and you know, me and Bryan, we just kind of clicked. You know what I mean? When I first got to the institution from Salinas Valley, we kind of clicked, and we used to have these insightful conversations with each other, man. These deep dialogues, and we used to go over to the media center over here at the prison because for a long time, man, Bryan ran, you know what I'm saying, the media center over here at the prison, and what's the name of that podcast that you was involved in over here, Bryan?
Uncuffed.
And and Bryan did a whole bunch of beautiful work, man, with Uncuffed over here at the institution, man. And we would have these conversations, and we would schedule, you know what I'm saying, conversations to record for Uncuffed, but we just never can really find the time to get it done. He was always busy dealing with what he was dealing with, and I was always busy, dealing with what I was dealing with, and that was really like my case, you know what I mean? Because I ended up going back down to the county jail, you know what I'm saying, dealing with some legal issues.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
And coming back to the institution, man, Bryan, like the Jeffersons, moved on up to something else now, and it's bigger and better than what he was doing last year. And, same thing with Porky, Alex, man, he an older homie, man, that came to the institution, man, from the 4-yard, and I don't know, man, I gravitated toward him, bro. You know what I mean? We kind of gravitated toward each other, you know what I'm saying? And with the gravitational pull, man, we became close, we became tight, we began to have, many different, positive conversations, man, and it just builds, on the brotherhood on the yard, and that's how I met both these bros right here, Alex.
Okay, now we know how long you've been in there, TC. Can Porky and Bryan, can you guys just speak on how long you guys been incarcerated and what's that journey been like? We'll start off with Bryan.
Yeah, okay, this is Bryan right here. January 2026. I'll make 33 years for me. I've been down 33. And, being from the Bay Area, I wasn't necessarily a part of different little things that go on in the Bay Area. So, a large chunk of, the beginning of my time, it was spent teaching people, that I wasn't somebody that they wanted to fuck with. That when that was my mindset at that time. My mindset now is not necessarily that, because there's many different ways to deal with roadblocks and obstacles and bad energy or whatnot. But as far as, my general journey during this time, I've always been really proud of myself for basically doing my time the way I want to do it. And what I mean by that is, this is not new for me. When I say new, I'm talking about using the words of TCUs, gravitating toward a brother, from a particular area, like TC, and like the brother Porky. It's like I've been doing this from day one. It was somebody that I took a liking to. We hung out. We talked. We chopped it about things we had in common. We built. Sometimes these relationships lasted a while. Sometimes they dissolved. I mean, it's okay in any event. And everything that TC was saying about how we met is accurate. I looked at him. I wasn't going to talk to him at first because he's a lot bigger than me, and I'm not a small guy. So he looked intimidating. And did he just chuckle? But anyway, yeah, he looked intimidating, like he didn't want to talk. And to be honest, I don't even know how we ever said a word to each other. Because when I noticed he wasn't looking at her, he was looking at the TV, I look at him and size him up. And then just keep on walking if he cut his eyes around. But, yeah, the brother Porky, I seem to remember that we met in the chapel because I'm agnostic, which opens me up to being available to learn about any spirituality in any path. But we met in the chapel going to, the meditation, Buddhist services, meditation. But I'm of no particular religious persuasion.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
We're going to continue with Porky. Tell us how long you've been down and what's the journey been like for you.
And I've been down September makes 29 years, homie. So this like most of us that come up in here, homie. We came in at a young age, and what we left doing on the streets, we try to continue it and try to fashion into what's their prison life about. You know what I'm saying? So I came in, ready to be somebody as far as in prison. I participated in a lot of things that can get you a name, and that gets you respect and just being able to carry yourself, as a man, with integrity. I've been doing that, and that's been getting me by. And when I came up here, when I first saw TC, it was like, I seen him, he seen me. You know what I'm saying? We never said nothing to each other. We just kept popping up in the same spots together. You know what I'm saying? From on the yard and to the when we was in the gym. I believe one of the homies invited him over there to do some push-ups with us. We had a little something.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
And that was our introduction right there. You know what I'm saying? For me, it's kind of hard for me to be like open up and just mess with dudes. You know what I'm saying? That's not from my set. You know what I'm saying? When I mean set from the clique that I represent, as far as like, being from my gang in the gang area. You know what I'm saying? So the homie, he's from the other side, and it was just a line that was there. You know what I'm saying? But it came a time when that line was crossed to where we can open up and start talking to each other.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And once that happened, you know what I'm saying, I realized he a man like I'm a man. And he got his head on right, and me, myself, trying to get myself together. So, you know what I'm saying, you know how that goes. You socialize with people that you know what I'm saying, that got a right direction. You know what I'm saying? As far as Bryan, the first time I seen him, he was with a camera. That kind of shocked me. I'm like, what is he filming? You know what I'm saying? So I was kind of curious, you know what I'm saying, on what he had going on. And then through other people, I heard about, you know what I'm saying, the kind of work he was doing. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, we was in Buddhist meditation, and they have a little time where we can open up and speak on things, and the brother threw some intelligence stuff out there. I threw something out there, and it was like a light went on, you know what I'm saying, to where, it was there for us to have a conversation, you know what I'm saying, and it just went from there, yeah, man, but, it's like everybody that had this journey, man. We came in one way, you know what I'm saying, you realize what it's about, you know what I'm saying, you don't put down.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Yeah, you don't put down your past experience, you know what I'm saying, because that's you. But what you do is you recognize, you know what I'm saying, and you figure it out, you know what I'm saying, what is your purpose. That opens you up, you know what I'm saying, when you're on a spiritual it becoming like a spiritual journey, and you know, what you about, it gravitates towards you, you know, and since I changed my outlook, you know, on how I see people, you know what I'm saying, from different hoods or different areas, you know what I'm saying. Since that changed and my mindset changed, it's like, you know, a door been opened, and you know, you just gravitate to people that's like-minded. You gravitate towards each other. So, and that's what's been happening. You know what I'm saying? I'm all about positive stuff right now. You know what I'm saying? And that's the energy I give off. I don't care who you is, what race you is. You know what I'm saying? You come in contact with me, you come in my area, I'm going to speak to you. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no telling what you going through. Maybe I can say something, or you can say something that can enlighten me on something. And that's what it's about for me right now. It's about a brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what race or what hood you from. You know what I'm saying? Because we all up against the same thing, and we striving for the same thing, and that's to get back out there to that family and lay that foundation.
Let me ask you about when you said you finally met TC, that he's from the other side. I want the listeners to understand you're from a community that's predominantly Bloods. TC is from a community that's predominantly Crips. Can both of you guys kind of speak on how you guys develop a relationship, even though you guys are from the opposite sides?
For me, it was just the way I've seen him and how he carried himself. You know what I'm saying? He was a man of respect. You know what I'm saying? And with that, you can see that's how he represented his turf. You know, and when you see that, you know what I'm saying, it's just a mutual respect thing. You know what I'm saying? And for me, you know, it makes it a lot easier. You know what I'm saying, to be able to holler at a dude. You know what I'm saying? That's a Crip, and I'm from Piru. You know what I'm saying? And because it's a common understanding on what we're trying to accomplish. You know what I'm saying? We ain't on no gang shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we come up representing everything that we came from. That's our past and that's our history. We ain't putting that down. You know what I'm saying? But what we are doing is that, you know what I'm saying, we taking that and we going to show people that, you know what I'm saying, we are more better united, you know what I'm saying, than we is separated. You know what I'm saying? Because we got a lot of common things and a lot of things in common. Just put it like that. And once we open up that dialogue, it's like looking in the mirror. Like, man, you've been my brother all this time. You understand me?
TC.
Yeah, Alex. Hey, Alex, man, he took the words out my mouth, man. Everything that Porky said, bro, that's exactly what I was gonna say,
this
man.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
You know what I'm saying? And hey, bro, that's why I fuck with Pork, man, because you know what I'm saying. You know, everything about bro is real, man. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no flaw. It ain't no half stepping with him, bro. He gonna speak the truth. He gonna speak the real, bro. And he gonna approach the situation and the individual based on realism and respect, bro. And that's what connected us, bro. You know what I mean? That's what connected us, man. And you know,
this call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
And yeah, of course, man. I know tons of cats, man. You know what I'm saying? From out the B team, bro. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of our relationships was forged differently. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to know each other differently, man. And you know, and it really was really, you know, opened my perspective up. You know what I'm saying? To forging relationships. You know what I'm saying? Some cats from the other side. You know, homies like Porky and homies like Bryan, man. You know, I done been in situations, man, whereas if we talking about, you know, prison lifestyle, man, let's say riots. You know what I'm saying? Racial riots. You know what I'm saying? And when those riots happen, man, you know, we engaged in combat, man, with other ethnic groups. And when it was said and done, when I looked up and the motherfucker that had my back, that was right there, that was fighting back to back, shoulder to shoulder with me, was, you know, a bro from the B team. You know what I'm saying? A bro from the Bay Area. You know what I'm saying? And those situations, the situations that bonded us together, man. You know, that changed my outlook on, you know what I'm saying,
opening up, man, and forging relationships and bonds with cats out of other areas, man. It's just situations like those, man. You know what I'm saying? But in this setting, it was something different that caused me, man. That prompted me to forge a relationship with both Bryan and Porky. You know what I'm saying? On a whole different level, man. You know what I'm saying? On some grown man shit. You know what I'm saying? On three individuals, man. You know what I'm saying? That's in search of their purpose, man. That's in search of something positive. That's in search of something that's greater than ourselves, man. You know what I'm saying? And with that, man, we all end up gravitating towards each other, Alex.
Okay, now I want to ask Bryan, what's it like? You're from the Bay Area, but there's I believe that the Los Angeles politics kind of dominate a lot of those prison yards with the Blood and the Crip thing. What's it like intermingling and socializing with amongst the Los Angeles dominated inmate population?
Look, I'm gonna let you know right now, in case you haven't figured it out. I'm a different kind of bird, bro. I don't even know if I'm the best person to even respond to that, because I pride myself, for the most part, doing what I wanted to do. Look, I done had probably a handful of cellies that, like the bro say, was from the B team. Most of my cellies, bro, were not Bay Area. Most of my cellies was Crips, bro. I had a cellie, Little Willie Deuce from Santana Block. We were cellies for 3.5 years. Only one other cat I was good with for that long, and he happened to be from East Oakland. The thing with me and a lot of cats from the Bay is they tend to cross lines, especially if they from my town. And when they used to cross lines, like I said, I always stood alone, so I always felt like I had to really stand up and show out. So that's what I would do. But as far as me mingling and being around, as you say, LA-dominated type areas of prison, it's never affected me in the way that it might affect somebody else. That's where I'm from geographically. So I've been fine with it, bro. I mean, it's been for a few years some cats that didn't even know me assumed that I was a gang member, because I was walking around for at least 2 or 3 years with my parents sagging. And it wasn't because I was trying to be somebody, but I wasn't trying to be somebody that somebody else was trying to force me into. You don't get to put me in a box. So that's been my attitude right there, and that's been the way that I function.
Okay. Real quick, a follow-up question on that. What's the Bay Area presence like in the California prison system? I heard of like the 415s, guys from Oakland and San Francisco. Is there a pretty strong presence of Bay Area brothers up in there?
Yeah, there is a presence of Bay Area in general, which would encompass, organizations, particular organizations, being civilians like myself. I'm a civilian. But, yeah, the presence, I would say we're here. Unfortunately, nobody wants to be here. But, yeah, that presence, yes, is here. But more so at certain prisons. Because you can look around here at Solano, and it's a lot of.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
Continue.
From what I see, there seems to be a whole lot of everybody here. But the short answer to your question is, yeah, there's a Bay Area presence for sure. Just sort of, it's almost a sidebar of a continuation of what I was saying prior to that, right? My thing and the way that I've been doing my time, as far as with these different tribes, and different geography and whatnot, is I've always loved us, right? I've never killed a brother. I've never killed anybody black. I know people got their issues and stuff goes on, and I'm not judging anybody for that. But that's not what I'm in prison for. That's not what I'm known for, or the old me. That's not what the old me was known for. But it's always been a thing to me that I would rather not have a problem with a brother than have one with him. So the geography, it's never been a problem for me personally. The tribes, it's never been a problem, because I love us, you know. And one of the things that I've accepted about myself and openly accepted is I was so calloused before in my life because I was hiding from people that I'm actually a sensitive dude. I watch stuff on TV right now. Certain stuff I don't even like to watch on the news, Alex, because that shit will make me tear up. I cry about shit now. You know, if I'm talking to somebody and they start talking and then I see that they getting emotional, it's like, man, don't do that shit, man. Only one of us need to be crying here. Now we both going to be crying. You know, and I didn't want people to know that I feel so deeply, you know, because I never wanted that to be misinterpreted. And a large portion of my life, stuff was misinterpreted, which is why I became the person that I became for such a long period of time. So tying that to what you were saying, it's like whatever the presence is or whatever tribe, whatever geography, I mean, I'm cool with it as long as I don't feel personally threatened. If I'm personally threatened, then we got to reevaluate some stuff.
Okay. Now, Porky, you mentioned about getting along with everybody, including you don't care what race they're from. And I want to ask
this call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
I want to ask this question about race because just recently on a podcast, a Latino guy said that he called a black person an African booty scratcher, and it created a whole controversy online right now about how racist the Latinos are in L.A., and that it really comes from prison. It kind of stems from prison. And you just said you get along with everybody. I want to know what's really going on between Latinos, specifically Mexicans and blacks, behind the walls.
Well, it's crazy for me, man, because, you know, I've been down for a minute, you know, and you know, the first time I heard the essay say the N-word, you know what I'm saying, not being disrespectful, you know what I'm saying, I still had to check, you know what I'm saying, because the younger generation, is like cool. They that's how they interact with each other. You know what I'm saying? And I did that for a long time, and then I went down to the county jail recently. I believe that was like 2022 or 23. You know what I'm saying? Where, you know, I guess they saying the N-word more than brothers, and they sounded way more tougher when they say it now. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it was like, you know, you could say I was like outnumbered, you know what I'm saying, as far as like, I felt that wasn't cool for dudes to be talking like that. You know what I'm saying? And you know, it's like I had to go against all the younger generations and how they justify, like, look, man, you know what I'm saying, we ain't tripping off that like that. You know what I'm saying? So in order for me to keep my sanity, homie, you know what I'm saying, I had to like, okay, this is what y'all doing. I don't want you dudes talking to me like that. You know what I'm saying? So we gonna draw a line. You know what I'm saying? Don't use the N-word with me or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all interact with each other how y'all interact. But you know, since these younger generations, they kind of loose at the lips with words and everything. You know what I'm saying? And they really don't have no meaning like they used to have meaning to us. You know what I'm saying? To the people that really fought over that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? Shit you couldn't be said. You know, they just say it in passing now. You know what I'm saying? When you check a dude, he was like, oh, no, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't being disrespectful, you know what I'm saying? Nothing like that, you know what I'm saying? He'd tell you all the time, man, I got black people in my family, and that's kind of a rarity to hear nowadays, you know what I'm saying? But, you know what I'm saying? Once I realized that a lot of these dudes don't mean no harm in what they say, and if I feel like a dude say something, I'm going to holler at him, you know what I'm saying, directly as a man, and let him know, you know what I'm saying? I felt disrespected. You know what I'm saying? And 9 times out of 10, they're going to accept that and they're going to apologize. You know what I'm saying? So, as far as like race, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, man, I see everybody as my brother until it's something that's going to cause us, you know what I'm saying, to knock heads or whatever the case may be. But my hand is always extended. You know what I'm saying? My hand is always extended because my ultimate goal is to free us all. You know, and when I say free us all, you know what I'm saying, for the individuals that got their mind right.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
A lot of dudes ain't got their mind right, you know what I'm saying, and those be the ones that's going to hinder us from progressing, not really hinder us, but it's going to be a knock. but we, you know what I'm saying, the most of the guys that got their hair strong, we gonna stand out, you know what I'm saying, and continue to pave that pavement. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Now, TC, what's your experience been like interacting with Mexicans at Solano, and then maybe it's been different at other yards before
This
you got
call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
before you got to Solano?
Well, you know, starting out, man, through different level 4 institutions, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, my relationship with, you know, with that ethnic group, man, was totally different, man. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, we got our own, you know, cultural beliefs and, you know, the way we operate, the way we think, and the way, you know, how our ideals are, and they have theirs, man. And a lot of times in the past, man, those cultural beliefs just didn't align together. You know what I mean? And, you know, it drew a wedge, it drew a line in the sand, bro. And a lot of times, man, we end up, you know, getting into it with Hispanics. We end up getting into it with you know, with white boys. We end up getting into it with other ethnicities. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, our stance, bro. You know, what we believe in and shit. You know what I'm saying? The way we view things. You know what I mean? The way we feel about things. And, you know, but, you know, moving forward, man, you know, coming here to this institution, to Solano, you know what I'm saying? You know, every group still have, you know what I mean, they still hold near and dear to what they believe in, to what their cultural beliefs are. You know what I'm saying? And like Porky said, man, a lot of the youngsters now, man, they openly use the N-word, bro, as a term of endearment. Whereas, you know what I'm saying, you know, we only use that in the past as a term of endearment, but if anybody else said it around us or to us, man, it was a threat. And we clashing about that. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, now, you know, the culture has changed greatly. You know what I'm saying? In the last 20-some odd years, man, the culture is...
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
The culture is different, man. You got other ethnic groups. They not just openly using the N-word as a term of endearment, bro. You know what I'm saying? They hold swag, bro. They hold posture. They hold stance to where they dress. Everything is kind of like how we do it, bro. Like you know, everybody kind of want to be like on the same tip, the same page that we on. You know what I'm saying? As a supreme ethnic group. You know what I'm saying? As the black culture and shit. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, now I'm a little bit more. I'm a whole lot more open now than I was in the past. You know what I'm saying? I'm more, you know, communicative. I'm more embracive of these other ethnic groups, man. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like what Porky was saying, man. Like what Bryan is saying, man. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole culture shift, and it's entirely different now. You know what I'm saying? And that's the one thing where I felt that it was imperative to have both of these brothers on, bro, because, you know what I'm saying, these is the cats, man, that's the front runners, you know what I'm saying, that I believe that's the front runners.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
You know what I'm saying? I believe that both of these brothers is the front runners and bridging the gap.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
You know what I'm saying? But for the better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Now I want to ask Bryan real quick. From what I understand, in the Bay Area, Mexicans and blacks have a better relationship than it's been in the Southern California, or specifically L.A., for the last 25 years. What have you observed as a guy from the Bay Area regarding the relationships with Latinos and Mexicans?
You mean blacks and Mexicans?
Well, blacks with Latinos or Mexicans, whatever word you use. I don't know if you guys say Hispanics, Mexicans, Latinos.
I thought you said Latinos and Mexicans. That left out the brothers.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Between
Okay.
blacks and Latinos or Mexicans.
Okay. All right, got it. Yeah. Your observation and assessment is correct as far as on the streets, right? My stance, I have to distill it and get a Reader's Digest version because it's going to be too much to try to talk about here. I'm going to start off by saying I reject the idea of racism. There's no racism. There's a bunch of other shit, but there's no racism because everything has a core. And if you get to the core, you'll find out what it is. And I can tell you what I strongly believe that it is. Everything can be tied to fear, right, when it comes to so-called racism. But I'm not going to try to discuss all of that now. I've written extensively about it. So most stuff I'm going to publish about that, in the near future. But, yes, we get along out there. That's why when I went to Shasta County to visit my friend, I call it a horse and buggy racism that threw me into shock because I still thought that was a thing then. I mean, white boys was in my face. I know you're talking about Latinos. The white boys were in my face. I mean, like physically making threats, standing 1 or 2 feet from me, and the reason why it really shocked me so much is because of me being from the Bay. It's like, we don't play this shit. This shit is stupid. I mean, that's generally how we look at it. Like, this is stupid. Like, when I say my homeboys, don't picture just a bunch of brothers standing around. It could be some Pinoys, which is a Filipinos. It could be some Mexicans, some white boys, whoever, some stragglers that we can't tell what their ethnicity is. But that's pretty much how we do it generally. Now, coming into prison, I differ greatly from, but respectfully, from what the brother Porky shared. My thing is, we don't own the N-word. We don't have a monopoly on the N-word. We don't hold stakes in the N-word. I'm not a shareholder in that word. So therefore, I don't care about it. I don't care if a person is using it towards me in a malignant and
You have 60 seconds remaining.
I don't care if they're using it to a friend or me as
You
a
have
term of
60
endearment.
seconds remaining.
I'm not moved by it one way or the other. I know it's going to cut off, but I'm not moved by it one way or the other because it doesn't belong to me, number one. I have no ownership of that word. And number two, I'm not going to tell the next person how to speak, even if they speak it to me. I got a responsibility to myself. If I could physically remove myself, then I'm going to do that. That's a lot to ask another person not to speak the word that's comfortable for them, and I'm not going to do it.
I understand that the N-word has been used to really dehumanize black folks. So if someone is offended by it, I completely understand that, where they wouldn't want, a Mexican or a white or another person to use that in front of them. But real quickly, I wanted to say I did the math on this, and you three guys have been in prison for a combined 82 years. So we got 82 years of incarceration on this phone call, y'all. And I want to go to Porky real quick. Porky, you're from Ujima Village, Village Town Piru. I guess that's Carson, is it Carson or the border of Carson?
It's Compton.
It's Compton. Okay.
It's Compton. It's like we got Compton, Watts, and L.A. all in the same little area right there.
Okay, I wanted you to speak on that community specifically, where you came up at, because in recent years they demolished it because
call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Because there was poisonous, oil under the ground. Just speak about that community and where you come up out of.
Man, my mom moved to the village in like about 70, probably like 78 or something like that, from Watts. I was born in Watts in Circle City on Palmer. We moved to the village when I was 5. That was my community. I learned a lot in there, man, and it really set me up. You know what I'm saying, to becoming the person that I am right now. Like every area, you know what I'm saying, we was a unit. Ujima Village mean unity, you know what I'm saying? So couldn't nothing come up in
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
You couldn't touch none of one of the homies without the whole hood coming, you know what I'm saying? Even from the mamas, you know what I'm saying, to the sisters, you know what I'm saying? It was like, we all had each other in there. And it was like a one big family, and I think that's what kind of shaped me now to where I am now, where I can accept a lot of dudes from different areas right now, you know what I'm saying? Because I grew up in unity. You know, it's like everybody. I done lost a gang of homies. You know what I'm saying? I done been to YA and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? And lost a lot of homies to the prison system. Done died in prison. You know what I'm saying? Just doing what we doing here. But Ujima Village is what shaped me, man. I still love it. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to go visit that area when I get back out. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody else that came from up out of there, even though they took the apartment buildings down. You know what I'm saying? 126 is still right there. You know what I'm saying? Certain spots we used to hang at is there. Yeah, man. It was built on a sanitation fault, they say. But grew up out of there, man. Grew up out of there, you got some good people that came from up out of there. I'm just gonna say that. And like I said, I've been living in here, man, with my same principles that I've been taught. You know what I'm saying, from Ujima Village. You know what I'm saying? So, I've been doing all right in here. I ain't. You know what I'm saying? I ain't had to defend myself. You know what I'm saying, for doing something wrong. And so. That's just what it is, man. It made me into the man I am today, man. And like I said, I'm always proud of where I come from. It's part of my history and my experience, and I carry that, and I express that to the people I come in contact with to let them know. You know what I'm saying? Don't matter where you come from. You know what I'm saying? Don't matter where you come from. We all was built for a purpose. You know what I'm saying? And we got to find that and push for that. You know what I'm saying? Become the people that...
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Yeah, that God created us to be, that your parents wanted you to be. You know what I'm saying? That's my thing right now. You know what I'm saying? I want to be that boy, you know what I'm saying, that my mom and daddy had hopes and dreams for. I want to live out them dreams, you know what I'm saying? Carry it on. Period, point blank.
Okay, and TC, real quick, Avalon Gardens housing projects. It's located right off of 88th. It's considered where Jamel Barnes is one of the OG first generation Crips. Started that set, I believe, in 1971. What are those? What's it like living in those projects?
Same thing, man. The Avalon Gardens, man. We more like a close knit, a tight knit family, man. You know what I'm saying? And if you do something to one, man, same thing, man. We all coming, man. And that's what I grew up in, man. That's what I came up in. That's what I was taught. The principles, man, of togetherness, of unity, man. Of you know what I'm saying? Each one teach one, man. You know what I'm saying? And I grew up there, man. I come up out the Avalon Gardens, man. Born and raised right there, man. And yeah, man, that area right there is a historical area, man. A lot of different cats, man, from a lot of different areas, man. They originate about the Avalon Gardens, man. That's a cornerstone historical area right there, man. And I'm proud of all the teachers, man, that I got, you know what I'm saying, from the projects, from the individuals that I come up under, man. The mothers, the fathers, you know what I'm saying, the homies, all that stuff, man. I'm proud of my area. I'm proud of where I've come from, man. And and I walk in the truth of what I got from going out the projects, man. You know what I'm saying, and I stand on, you know what I'm saying, the principles and everything. You know what I'm saying, that the knowledge that I gained from the set, bro. You know what I'm saying, and yeah. It shaped me, bro. The projects is the reason why I am the way I am today, man. Why I'm the man I am right now, And, that's what it is.
Okay. Now, I want to know, Bryan, what's this media stuff that you're doing in prison with cameras and being able to record? How is that possible inside the penitentiary? And how'd you get involved in that?
Okay. If you don't mind, just a quick little comment, then I'll respond to that, if you don't mind, on something. I get, because it resonates with me, I get where people can be offended because of certain words that dehumanize. But I have something that I've been practicing in my life for several years now, and I call it aggressive apathy. I choose not to care about a bunch of shit, because my energy, I need that energy for things and people that I do care about. I'm not going to care about a word that has dehumanized people when I can use that energy to help lift others up and away from that, and to have a more worthwhile focus of their own energy. So I get it, but still, we choose.
How long have you
choose to
felt
be
like
down.
that? How long have you had that discipline? I'm sure when you first got into prison, you probably was thinking differently.
And when I first came to prison, I thought I hated white people because I was on the cusp of being a serial killer, bro. And I thought I hated white people, but I didn't hate white people, bro. I hated what happened to me that night. I hate that my feelings was hurt. I hate that I felt disregarded. I felt invisible. And I held on to that for some years. Your question is a valid question, and I appreciate being called out on it. So it's been several years where I've been practicing aggressive apathy. There are things in front of me that I normally would have a response and a reaction to that I have no response to now. I have no reaction to, but it's because of a conscious choice of mine. Like, that doesn't matter to me. And I'm kind of tickled at myself that certain things ever did matter to me, enough to the point of me standing up and doing something, not constructive, but destructive. And I'm just not going to do that. I'm not going to do that anymore.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
I'm not talking about some ridiculous notion of not getting upset anymore. No, I'm not that person. I still get upset. I still have ideas and thoughts in my head that I would never speak out loud. But do I act on them? No. And do I have these thoughts more often than not? No, I do not. Because I practice aggressive apathy. It's just like, it doesn't make sense. I really go deep into it. But like I said, I know that this is not the particular time or the venue. But, I mean, if it comes up at some other time and I'm allowed to, I would be glad to support the things and the ideas that I'm saying right now. You want me to get to the media thing, the media question?
Yeah, that media thing is very interesting. That you're able to, I guess, document what's going on in prison.
Well, there's two parts to it. So the short answer to what you just asked is yes, I get to document stuff, right? So there's what's called a media production request, which different staff members in departments like education or some people from the streets might be coming in because of a graduation. So we get a media production request. There's only one other worker up there with me that's pre-staff. All of us are named Bryan. My supervisor's named Bryan. My coworker's named Bryan. Obviously, I'm Bryan. Now, we get a media production request that says, well, we want stills, just photographs, or we want stills and film, or just film. Then they tell us if they want it raw, give us the footage raw, or do they want us to edit it? So that's the stuff that Solano gives us to do. Now, that's good for education and for me learning, with the cameras that I use. There's six different types of cameras there. I have the cheapest one. The cheapest one is like $800. And that's the one that I carry around with me every day in a tripod. It's a Canon. It films and it does stills. Now, the good news...
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
We got word from DRP in Sacramento, the Division of Rehabilitative Programs. We got word from them that they wanted, they call us IPs now, if people weren't aware. IP meaning incarcerated person. They said they wanted IP-created content. That means I get to create, just like it sounds. I get to create content, right? Direct, produce, film, edit. I get to put it together. And if it fits into 4 categories of DRP, you got self-help, you got wellness, you got education, and then you got one more. I can't remember the other one. I don't have the document in front of me. But if it fits into one of those categories, then they're going to air it statewide. For instance, I created something called Returning...
You have 60 seconds remaining.
And I'll just say what PATH means real quick. PATH is an acronym that I created.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
past means prior attitudes towards humanity. And the whole idea of that is I ask people a staple question, and that question is, could you share with me one of your favorite childhood memories? Other questions come up, but everybody has at least one favorite childhood memory, no matter what their childhood was like, no matter how bad or traumatic it could have been. And I want to encourage people to dig that out. And I did, like, episodes. And
You have 60 seconds remaining.
I just wanted people to go back and dig up something good, you know, despite where we are now. And then I have other random questions that I ask, and I film them. I film them in front of a green screen, then put whatever they want behind it, you know, do editing. It's highly produced, right? And like I said, I created that. The PSA that I did, I'm going to do a couple more PSAs, which are basically music videos. First ever. They don't allow music videos. I did a music video, and I'm about to do some more, right? And we're trying to get this stuff to YouTube. But the other question that you asked, to answer that, how is it even possible to even do this? Well, San Quentin has been doing stuff similar to this for the longest. And what's been happening now is there's been sort of a push from certain administrators that are trying to get Solano the same type of light on them as Quentin has on it. You know, I mean, Quentin is no longer a prison. It's a rehabilitation center. I mean, you got Kim Kardashian coming through. You got Kerry Washington coming through, you know, and people like that. So they're trying to get Solano the same sort of push. And that's the sort of a general response as to how, you know.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Okay.
Oh, by the way,
yeah,
the equipment that we're using in the software, when me and a few other guys started the Uncuffed and I named it Uncuffed. When we started the Uncuffed podcast, and just going back to that briefly.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
We were using state-of-the-art software. We were using Pro Tools, right? Now, when I started doing media and editing, we were using industry standard software. I was using Adobe Premiere Pro, but our license ran out. So now I had to drop down. Now I'm using Final Cut Pro until the red tape, they cut through the red tape and they give us Adobe Premiere Pro again. But that's how I'm able to do it, is they're making a push to make Solano, you know, look like it's supposed to, especially coming from a, what do they call this yard? Positive PPF programming yard, positive, thank you. Positive programming facility. So,
okay.
That's how that's able to be done.
All right, so the last question I want to ask you, brothers, is about violence. Just recently, there was a stabbing death at Salinas, and then about 3-4 weeks ago, there was a stabbing death at Centinela. I want to know, what's it like living being confined in an environment where anything can pop off at any time. I know Solano's on the 3 yard that you guys are on is a little bit different, but anything can still happen. How do you guys deal with that mentally and physically? We'll start off with Porky.
Yeah, for me, man, you know, I'm a firm believer, man, that, like you just said, anything can happen at any time. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of pride myself on being aware of my surroundings and just knowing that at any second something can happen. You know, with that in mind, you know, I take care of myself. I work out and I eat right. I don't do drugs. You know what I'm saying? So that I'm able to protect myself and those who are within my community. You know what I'm saying? So for me, man, like I said, man, I try to be ready for anything and everything. You know, can't be prepared for all, but that's just how we live in here, man. You know, we can't do nothing. We mind our own business. You know what I'm saying? If it ain't got nothing to do with me, it doesn't concern me. You know, only time it concerns me when it comes to my area. You know, but that's life. Like it's life on the streets, man. Things happen. And, you know, somebody violated some kind of rules or regulations. You know what I'm saying? And that's what led up to action. You know, so it don't matter if you a gang member or if you in the corporate world. You know what I'm saying? We all got rules and regulations that we got to follow by. And you violate those, something's going to happen. You know? So that's how I see it. Break the law, you're going to have to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? No matter what stage of life or what you represent.
Okay, TC, if I was gonna end up getting sent to prison, and the rules that Porky was just talking about, what would you tell me in order for me to make sure nothing happens to me? I don't end up getting stabbed. What are some of the rules that someone that's fresh to prison wouldn't know?
I mean, a lot of it is kind of the same thing as what Porky said, man. You know what I'm saying? And the universal rule, man, coming into prison as a youngster that don't know, hey man, like I was told, hey man, mind your business, mind your own business, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't get into shit that don't have nothing to do with you. You know what I'm saying? Don't openly, you know what I'm saying, in every situation, you know what I'm saying, view your points to how you feel, but really, man, mind your damn business. Mind your own, man. You live alone. That's a universal rule that everybody in prison, you know what I'm saying, adheres to. You know what I'm saying? And like the brother said, man, when people violate certain rules and regulations, man, that's usually, you know what I'm saying, the repercussion, man, that's handed down, man. You know what I'm saying? That's usually what comes with it. You know, we're violating certain rules and regulations in prison life, man. So, and if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready, man. If you stay physically prepared, man, if you bust down, if you eat right, if your mind is right, your conscience is clear, you know what I'm saying? You won't run into any of those pitfalls, and you'll always be ready for whatever situation presents itself, because like you say, man, shit can happen at a drop of a dime, man. You know, one day we can be cool.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
You know, one day everything will be cool, and before you know it, man, it's the tension is thick and shit is going on. So, you know, if you just live right and you follow the rules and you mind your business, man, and you be all right, and you'll be prepared for whatever situations happen in life, or prison life, bro.
Hey, in 2016, all three of you guys was incarcerated, and I was shocked when I heard that Hugo Pinell, aka Yogi, was released from the SHU after many, many, many years, and he ends up getting stabbed to death. They end up arresting or charging two white guys. He's a guy that I don't think, like, what rule did he break? To lose his life at 70-something years old in prison.
Yeah, well, that'll be. Go ahead, Bryan.
Let me say something. Let me say something that kind of like, I'm not gonna shed light. I'm gonna shut it down. But let me tell you how. It wasn't that he did an act. He had a history that caught up with him. That's without going into details. And certain people had an order out on him that could not be recalled. All of the whole ceased, the end hostilities and whatnot, it didn't apply to that. That's why nothing happened after that. There's more to it, but I'm not going to speak on any of that. But yeah, it wasn't that he committed some one act and then he had to die for that. Now there's a lot behind that.
Okay. We got a little bit of time left. I want to give each one of you guys at least a minute.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
I want to give you guys at least a minute with final thoughts, and we'll start with Bryan.
Yeah. I'm grateful. I really am grateful. I'm not just saying this to be nice. I'm grateful to have been invited, to sit down and listen to you brothers and to speak. I'm grateful. It's just, I'm about to say something hella corny, but whatever. This is like a breath of fresh air, for me. And the last comment I want to say is I second what both both of those brothers just said, Porky and TC, as far as the questions that you asked them. I mean, bro, if you mind your business, for the most part, you should be fine. I don't even walk around on high alert. I don't walk around on hypervigilance because this is what I tell people. For me, if something happens to me, it's going to be impossible, unbelievable, because for me personally, I don't do shit for shit to come to me. It would have to be a race riot. It would have to be something like that and just getting caught up in it because that's how that works. I'm no longer an individual when it comes to a race riot. I'm just the other race. You know, so yeah, I agree with what they said. Usually, you mind your business and don't be getting in other folks' business. You'll be just, for the most part, you'll be just fine. You know, but anyway, I'm grateful. I wanted to say that I'm grateful. I appreciate all of you, and I hope we can do it again.
Final thoughts, Porky.
Man, like the brother said, man, this is my first time ever doing something like this, man, and I just want to thank you for
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Yeah, I'm always open, man, to dialogue with the brothers, man. You know, just holler at me, man. You know, if I can find the time to get up in there, man, I'm there for you. And like I said, man, I just appreciate the opportunity, man, and I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? Because you're doing a lot. You know what I'm saying? And we need more brothers like you, and there's a lot more out there doing it, man. But continue to reach back in here and pull us out, brother.
For sure. And TC is the one that really brought all three of you guys together on the line. What are your final thoughts right now before we wrap this call up, TC?
Same thing, man. I'm extremely grateful, man, and I'm pumped up about tonight's episode, man. Tonight's conversation, man, because you know Porky and Bryan are two guys that I've been trying to connect with you for a while now, Alex, and especially Porky, man. Porky, hey, man, that's my brother, man. That's bro, man. That's big bro right there, Alex, man. And Porky, man, he one of the dudes that I believe, you know what I'm saying, that it's time, bro. You know what I'm saying? We need to be, you know, putting resources into helping that brother, man, get up out of this place, bro. You know what I'm saying? And it's just time, bro. You know what I'm saying? He's one of the cats that I look at, you know what I'm saying, as a leader, man, that's positive, bro, and can help bring some serious change to the culture, man, in a positive way, bro. And, you know, hey, bro, I want us to get together, bro. I want us to help Porky, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's big bro, man, you know? And Alex, you already know how I feel about you, man. You already know, man. You my guy, bro. And, you know, I'm grateful, bro.
Well, I'm thankful and grateful for all three of you guys giving not just me some time, but really tapping in with the thousands of people that are going to listen to this episode. And I want to just thank everybody who took the time to listen to all four of us on another episode of Tear Talk.